Welcome to the PK Soul Show. Welcome to the PK Soul Show.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. I know you missed us.
Yeah, we've been gone for a while, but now we're back with you. We're here and we're ready to dig into Greenleaf. This is PK Social. I am Tammy.
And I am Amber.
2 of the PKs of 5 PKs. So, Greenleaf has been interesting. Today's going to be a special episode where we kind of just recap some of our thoughts from the previous episodes during this season. So Amber's going to dig right in.
Okay, so basically what we have gathered, hopefully if you're listening to this, you have already watched the finale. So what we can gather from this is, at this point, the Greenleafs are taking a major L. So Judy...
L means what?
Google it.
For those who may not know, L is lost.
A loss.
They took a loss because they were winning. Now they're losing.
Actually, I mean, they weren't really winning, but they hadn't completely lost yet.
Well, I guess so.
So anyway, Judy comes to town. Judy is Bob Whitmore's daughter, who I guess he's kind of put in charge, like basically go to Calvary, check on Calvary, see what's going on at Calvary. Even though Phil is there, who's supposed to be his right-hand man, clearly Phil is someone he feels needs to be watched, which means you don't really fool with Phil. Like, you want Phil to think you fool with him.
I also kind of feel like Charity may have egged on some of the situations for Judy to come. Isn't Judy the musician, the praise and worship director?
Bob Whitmore's daughter.
But Charity tried to change their sound.
Yeah.
So I feel like they gave her reason to come, actually.
Her an excuse. Yes. Yes. So anyway, we're referring to when they wanted to play this song at the church that we talked about in another episode that was really horrible. And so Judy is coming to lay the law down. So anyway, Judy shows up. She has a conversation with Grace and basically lets Grace know, I know you met with Fernando. Fernando is this guy that has been trying to buy land from Carissa and Jacob. And
Fernando is also Carissa's lover.
Well, he hadn't become her lover at this point.
Well, if you've seen the rest of the season, you know.
Right. So Fernando is that guy. And he has been, trying to buy this land or whatever. And Carissa has been all excited and stupid. Like, oh, I don't know who this person is, but they want to give us more money than what our land is worth. So that should have been your first red flag.
Mm-hmm. True.
So anyway, come to find out, she finds out that he actually works for Harmony and Hope. And instead of her telling her husband and getting rid of this plan to sell the land, she goes along with it and doesn't tell Jacob.
It's really cool how she found out about Fernando and realizing who he was and his connection to H&H through the cufflinks.
Oh,
Phil has a custom cufflink that she noticed on
Phil. Bob has a custom.
Yeah, Bob has one that Carissa noticed on Phil. Then she noticed it on Fernando. And when she found out, that's when it became scandalous. Mm-hmm. She realized before she even signed the papers for she and Jacob to sell their land. She knew it at that point that Fernando, or what they were doing, she knew the sale would go to H&H. And she still didn't reveal the information to her husband or their family.
She's a pretty scandalous
She
chick.
is. Oh, my goodness.
But anyway, so at this point, Judy lets Grace know that I know you met with Fernando. So basically, at this point, we're learning that everyone else is learning who Fernando is, who he works for, and why it's a big deal that they found out about H&H buying the land. So anyway, before Judy's meeting is over, Grace asked her, like, why is it so important that I met with him? Like, basically, yes, I do know who he is. Why are y'all buying up all this land? Because Grace had also met with a black guy who she found out had sold his land to a company that she didn't know who the company was. But when she did her research, she realized...
What was the purpose of her meeting with that man? I do remember that.
Because he had sold his land too, and his land was right beside the church. So she was just questioning, like, she was already kind of iffy, like, who's after this land that's so close to us? Mm-hmm. So once she put 2 and 2 together, they bought his, okay, they slick bought
Carissa's and Jacob's.
Now, what are y'all doing?
Right.
And that's when Judy finally breaks the news to her. Like, okay, yes, you're right. We have been purposely buying this land under under what word am I looking for? Under pseudo names. Mm-hmm. You haven't been calling yourself Harmony and Hope. And so
I thought they just kind of considered themselves like private investors or something. Because where did Fernando come from?
He works for a company that has a different name, but come to find out, that company was a subsidiary of H&H. Harmony and Hope. Mm-hmm. So Judy basically tells her, yes, we've been buying the land because we have intentions on expanding Calvary, which is now Harmony and Hope, into something bigger. And she uses an example of Potter's house. So we all know Potter's house is huge. Mm-hmm. So now your plan is to like really make Calvary, it's already technically
and
considered.
I think it won't even be Calvary anymore. I think it'll definitely,
it will not. And that's what Lady May knows.
Yeah,
that's what Lady May knows. So when Grace finds out this information, she takes it to the bishop and Lady May and Jacob, and they're they're having an impromptu meeting. I guess they're at the house, and she's basically telling them, y'all, I found out that they've been buying up all this land. And of course, they kind of look at Jacob like, how could you sell your land to them? And he basically admits at that point, Carissa wanted to buy this land. She's the one who's been more hands-on with the purchase. And
with the sale.
I'm sorry, with the sale. She's the one who's been more hands-on with the sale. And at that point, he kind of realizes too, especially after Lady May tells him, you're stupid and you're always blinded by women, that there's probably no way Carissa did not know that she was selling this land to Harmony and Hope. Yeah. But she did it anyway because she just had to be out of Lady May and Bishop's house. She wants out. So anyway, during this same meeting, Phil comes up. That is when Jacob decides it's time for him to tell the family what he knows about Phil and his dating life. Because at this point, if you've been watching the season, Charity has been dating Phil or letting Phil think they're dating, and Jacob saw them kissing. So now he pretty much knows. He was the first one to find out this big secret that Charity has, that she's sleeping with, well, I'm not saying sleeping with the enemy. They aren't sleeping together, but
Fraternizing
with the enemy. So at that point, Lady May...
Let's just hold on for a second. Charity. I can't... Charity is a whole
Charity's
basket
an idiot.
case. Like, I just don't understand.
She has convinced herself that this man loves her.
She really thinks that... And it gets worse. Like, she's drawn to him even more just because she knows it's not approved of. Like, she knows her family will not approve of them dating, but it's like she wants to.
She needs some attention.
She definitely needs attention, and she feels this need to just really find her place, and she thinks being with him is a part of finding her place.
Because he fed her the dream, like, I'm gonna take over, you're gonna be my first lady, like.
And if she wasn't just as low as she could be, she didn't even want to be first lady. She wanted to be a pastor. She wanted to be a minister. So true. Now you just want anything.
Now you just settling for something that you didn't want. You did not want to be first lady at all. But Charity case, what else do we have? So at that point, Lady May kind of blames herself because Charity isn't around during this meeting, and she's like, I don't know where I went. She's telling Grace, I don't know where I went wrong with her. I didn't do my part with making sure that Charity was okay, because clearly something is off with this girl if she's buying his lies. So at this point, after Grace has laid everything heavy on them, like, y'all, what we gonna do? H&H buying up all this land. They got a secret plan. Lady May decides she needs to get to the deacons before H&H gets to the deacons and let them know, look, they're basically trying to take our church. So she comes up with the plan. Well, me and your dad are going to get remarried. Why don't I have an engagement party and invite the deacons? And it was really funny because in this part, they kind of discussed, what are we going to do about Connie? Are we going to invite her? Are we not going to invite her? Connie.
Oh, yeah.
And Lady May, who is so smart, says, you know what? We're not going to invite her because that's going to make her want to come if she's not invited. And sure enough, it works. She hears about the party and tells Corinne to add her to the guest list, even though she technically wasn't invited. So, basically, the bishop and Lady May have this party. Judy finds out about the party. Again, Judy is Bob Whitmore's daughter. So she questions Grace, like, about the timing. It's mighty funny. All of a sudden, your mom wants to have an engagement party. What's her MO? Grace plays it off. I don't know. She just wants us to celebrate with her. Judy says, okay, well, if she doesn't have a secret motive, I'm coming. Basically invites herself. So this one, I'm kind of like, ooh, how they gonna do this? Because we know
Grace really could have played it off a little better. I think she just...
I don't know,
she didn't think
though.
too quick on her feet.
I don't know how she could have played it off, because Judy was basically looking at her like, if you tell me I can't come, I'm gonna know what y'all are doing at this party.
Okay. She can let her think what she wants to think, but I guess she just wants to be diplomatic and
Anyway,
be careful.
so she lets the girl invite herself to the party. So of course, Lady Mae, who she needs an Oscar because she's a great actress. At this party, she decides during her speech she's going to use this as her chance to sway the deacons who did show up, including Connie, to sway the deacons into realizing if we give this church, because at this point it's pretty much known, Harmony and Hope is going to want 50% of the vote, which means they need half of their members on the deacon board.
Yep, that's correct.
So anyway, she tells the congregation, or I'm sorry, not the congregation, but she's acting like she's at church giving a sermon, and she tells them, we can never settle for 50-50. We settle for 50-50. Where do we leave room for the Lord?
It's so funny how she tries to tie God
into all of her
into her agenda. It is so hilarious.
That's one of her flaws. I will say that. I love Lady Mae. She's hilarious. She's strategic, but she's flawed, because stop trying to force your agenda in the disguise of a sermon. Like, you got your own agenda here. So anyway,
it worked.
I will say it worked, because at the party they were clapping for her after the speech, and basically Judy is very upset because she realizes what Lady Mae just did, and crap, now we didn't get our chance to talk to the deacons before her. So Judy is mad. She leaves, but before she leaves, we do learn that her and Phil had a history. They used to date, or
I think they were married.
They weren't married. I think they were almost engaged, though. But they didn't know they weren't married. They weren't married, no. So anyway, we learn about that. Of course, Charity is on cloud 9 because Phil actually came to the party after her father basically said, well, look, whatever you're doing, we need to meet him. Tell him to come to the engagement party.
And you know what's interesting? It seems like they would have tried to make him an ally instead of alienating him.
Lady Mae definitely would have used that to her advantage.
Has she realized where things would head?
Right.
It seems like she would have tried her best to make him an ally.
But I also feel like Lady Mae knew there's no point in trying to make him an ally, because we know his true intention for dating Charity. Like, we know it's not about Charity.
Yeah, that's true. But it's Lady Mae. It's not like she cares if it's for Charity or not. Seems like she would have done whatever it takes to protect the ministry in her eyes.
That's true. Interesting point. So, yeah, I guess she didn't think that through, because they definitely could have used Phil to their advantage.
On their advantage, yeah. On their team.
So, basically, let's see. After the party, I think this is also the episode where we learned that, Carissa in the house. We learned that Judy is in town for whatever reason. Connie, of course, leaves the party very upset because she realizes Lady Mae had an agenda. This is what the whole point of this whole party was for.
It's interesting. It's always one person.
Always.
I feel like Lady Mae, even though we know Lady Mae can have her ways and how she operates, she still has the interest of what they initially wanted to do with the ministry. The reason why they started the ministry, she still has that in mind. She doesn't want to lose the ministry. And the deacons don't want to lose it either. So I think they realize it's easier to align with each other to help save the ministry. But Connie is too... First off, Connie got bought. She was bought to help them get it. And she has to stay with them no matter what.
Also, after the party, like basically the end of the episode, I guess Judy has realized my plan doesn't work. So she decides to tell Grace basically, if you do what you need to do to get us these 12 seats on the deacon board, we're going to make you head pastor of this new expanded church. And I feel like Grace, for a minute, kind of considered it because...
Grace definitely considered because she talked them into voting.
But she ended up talking them into voting because Lady Mae told her to. Because right after they talked Clara into voting yes, she called Lady Mae. Lady Mae said, did she vote yes? Charity said, Grace said she did. And Lady Mae said, good. I'm sending the bishop over to Connie now. Because I was confused too. I was thinking, so Grace then flipped the script. But that was a part of some plan that they had. But the bishop ended up messing it up because he told her about the blackmail when he wasn't supposed to bring up the blackmail.
Okay, so... Okay, Harmony and Hope wanted 12 additional seats.
Yes.
They want 12 new deacons.
There are already 12 deacons.
So they want 12 additional deacons.
They want 12 of their people.
So they can have
50-50.
Everything won't be 50-50. So it's going to be
and
either
them. Lady Mae keeps saying, no, this is not going to end well for us.
Right.
Even if we do say it's 12-12, it's not 12-12. They're going to use that.
They'll always have Connie. So they'll always have 13.
And I think Lady Mae realized, technically, y'all had 13 because Connie is not for us.
Right.
So,
that's
yes.
true.
Lady Mae knew all along. Also,
Lady Mae.
Grace is now faced with this new proposal, even though we realized the very next episode, okay, she didn't take the bait. Charity goes and tells Phil, at first she gave Phil the recording and was all on the fence. I don't know if I want you to use it yet. Okay, first of all, you knew you wanted him to use it or you would have never given it to him.
Right.
You were still trying to make yourself feel better, appease your conscience because you knew that was wrong. So you gave it to him and told him, no, I'm not sure. But basically you gave it to him to hold because you knew somebody was going to piss you off enough to where you would go and tell him to use it, which you did in this very episode. Once she realized, after the party, Bishop basically told her, stop dating this man until we get the church back. That ticked her off even more. So that's when she decided, I'm going to tell Phil to use this recording against Gigi.
I just don't understand why she's so against Grace. It's your fault that your life is ridiculous. It's your fault that you married a man that was gay. It's your fault.
But she's jealous of Grace.
And
Grace, her thing is, now that we know Grace has this skeleton, which is, she was supposed to be the perfect one. She was the one coming, and it's like, okay, she's not even perfect. Y'all know she isn't perfect, and she's still the favorite. Charity is jealous. To me, that's what it seems like. You're just jealous that you thought this one thing that your parents would probably say, okay, maybe Grace isn't the one we need to make our pick. And they still are. In fact, they're telling you, don't date your boyfriend because we still need Grace to do whatever it is she's going to do. So, she has no right to be jealous of Grace, I don't think, but she is. And it's driving her crazy. It's forcing her, or it's egging her on into thinking, I'm going to be with this man and we're going to use this against her, blah, blah, blah. We're going to break her down. So that is basically how that episode ends. In the next episode, we see that, as I mentioned before, Grace, Connie, and Clara are meeting in Grace's office. And Miss Clara is the older lady in the church. And she basically is like, no, Lady Mae said we shouldn't go for 50-50. Where's the room for the Lord? And Grace convinces her to go on and vote. And she says she will. She'll go ahead and vote to make it 12-12. But... and I'm still confused on that because my whole thing is, why did they want Clara to vote yes if they knew they was going to send the bishop to Connie to make her vote no? So what was the point in making
I feel like he messed up. Connie decided no when they got into it. He was supposed to.
He was always supposed to convince her to say no. But Lady Mae told him to try to figure out a way to convince her without telling her that they had blackmail on her. He was supposed to appeal to her conscience or something, Lady Mae said, but it wasn't working. So finally, he pretty much told her, you had a check go in your account in April, whatever, and we know that your daughter is holding it for you. So basically, yes, he did end up blackmailing her. And maybe that was their plan, because she went back to Phil after Connie got blackmailed by the bishop. She went to Phil and Judy and told them basically, these people know that y'all paid me off and we're going to have to adjust the agreement. Instead of 50-50, we're going to make it, they get 60, y'all get 40. So, I don't know. Maybe their plan was to still give them... I don't know if that was their plan, to make her say 60-40, or if they thought she would say, I'm not going to vote, period. But whatever it was, it convinced her to not give them 50-50. So, now that Phil has been given the green light to basically use this ammo against Grace, he goes straight to Grace's office and he tells her, step down. Of course, she's looking at him like, what are you talking about? Why would I do that? And he lets her know, I know you lied for your son to keep him out of jail, and if you don't step down, the police will find out. So of course, she's real confused on what she should do. She goes to Lady Mae and the bishop and tells them what Phil did. And of course, Lady Mae and the bishop instantly realize this must be Charity's doing, because how else would he have gotten?
Know? Right.
So they decide, actually they don't decide. The bishop thinks Grace should only do what she thinks is best for her son. Lady Mae thinks, your son did it, he's guilty, he needs to face his consequences. You need to go on and tell the church you're not stepping down. You're going to tell the church yourself what you have done. And then she basically tells her, every woman in that audience is going to side with you because they would have done the same thing for their son. So basically, own up to it. If he goes to jail, it's time for him to face his consequences. Anyway, basically, Lady Mae feels like she should completely throw AJ under the bus in the name of the church. So the bishop, the last thing he tells her is, do what you feel you need to do. So when we see Grace preaching that Sunday, she's about to go with Lady Mae's plan. And we can tell because she opens her Bible, she, sets it up real nice, except AJ walks in the middle of her sermon and she's completely thrown off. She looks like she just saw a deer in headlights. Like, it's bad. So at that point, the camera pans to Lady Mae in the audience and she's just kind of mumbling under her breath like, don't you do it, don't you do it. And sure enough, Grace closes her Bible. She says, I'm sorry. And then she tells the whole church, this is my last Sunday as your pastor. So basically, I guess I'm thinking once she saw him, she just couldn't go along with the plan. Once she saw his face, it tugged on her heart and she decided, I'm going to have to choose my son. So after all this foolishness they have gone through, Grace steps down anyway. So,
it's a real damper on the party.
Yeah, it kind of just...
No one knows what to do since they all have decided how their plan would play out, especially with the deacons, and Grace just throws everything off. But I don't know if I disagree with Grace. I mean, of course, any woman is going to do what she needs to do for her child. She's not going to let her child rot in jail. And especially since she's just now developing a relationship with him, she probably feels it's best to try to protect their relationship. So that means protecting him. So it was an interesting episode.
Oh, yeah. And I almost forgot our good old Charity case. They didn't let this episode go by without tying up those loose ends. She's, all on cloud 9. She thinks, okay, Grace has stepped down. Phil is about to take over. I got my man. We finna be, basically we're going to be in the limelight. He's going to be the pastor. I'm going to be the first lady. She thinks their plan has worked out completely, except he comes over to the house, to their home, and goes upstairs, says he needs to talk to Charity, and politely breaks down the fact that he's going to marry Judy. So now she's kind of looking like, really lost, really hurt because this man that she thought loved her has basically chosen.
Well, there's some things that transpired before that. So we're going to come back and we're going to discuss everything on the next episode.
Okie doke.
So thanks for tuning in. This is Tammy and Amber with this week's wrap up of Greenleaf on PK Social. Remember to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter at VPK Social. You can also email us email vpksocial@gmail.com.
Right. All right. See you next time.
That wraps up. Alrighty. Have a good one.